just don't let the red sign scare you here. This is our micro lab. So this is where we test for all the yeast, the mold, the fungi, and bacteria. And again, every raw material that comes into our facilities will go into this lab. And we will test to make sure that it does not exceed our standards for any of those things, and that it does not have any disease-causing bacteria. So things like E. coli, salmonella, those things, Pseudomonas, they're all tested here. If any of those things come up positive, the material is sent back to the supplier. It will not make it into any of our products. So just to kind of give you a little bit more background, as soon as we receive something, it goes into a certain place in our warehouse. It's called a quarantine section. It sits there until all of this testing passes. If it passes, then it moves out into the warehouse where it can be used for manufacturing. If it fails, it goes back. And sometimes, whenever you want to buy your favorite product and it's on back order, it's because we had to send material back. So that delays our manufacture, and then it shows up that way to you in many of the cases. So we try to plan ahead and have stuff on hand so that you don't ever run out of product, but it's not uncommon for us to reject 2 or 3 lots in a row, and then you find a new supplier for it. This is just an example of some of the things we go through. Now we kind of branch off into some of the R&D aspects and things that we do that in a lot of ways we're kind of unique in. There's some companies that do this kind of stuff, but not very many. So here you have particle size analysis on the left. Here we're looking at the size of the particles inside each powder. You can think of this as how many of you have tried to mix rocks and sand together? You ever played at the beach and you get a little jar and you put some rocks on the bottom and then you put the sand on top and shake it up? What happens to the rocks? They all kind of float to the top, don't they? Okay, so we can't have that when we're mixing powders. If we have 2 differently sized powders, they will not stay evenly mixed while they go through the encapsulation process or into a stick pack or a jar, whatever it is. So we have to make sure that all the powders have about the same size, or they're mixed in such a way that they don't separate when they go into the filling side of things. And so this is one way that we keep tabs on the size of the particles. And again, everything that comes in is tested to make sure that it meets the specification. But whenever we look at new raw materials, we run it through several different screens to see what is the makeup, how much of the powder is really small stuff, how much of it is larger things. The other instrument over there is a powder flow analyzer. And we use this one to look at how the powder behaves. How can you compress it? What happens if you blow air through it? Does it let the air pass, or does it block it all off? And this is a way that we get a gauge on how the powder is going to behave in our manufacturing equipment. And so this is kind of a quick check for us to see, is this powder going to be a problem in manufacturing? We'll do this on individual powders. We do this on every new product before it goes down to the manufacturing plant, so that hopefully we're identifying potential problems before it takes up production time in our production facility. So this is probably not the most attractive photo, but this is our flavor lab. And all of these are different flavors from different companies. It just gives you a quick idea of how much we kind of play around with flavors. So whenever you get something that has a flavor in it, it has gone through this lab, and we have tried a number of these flavors. We may get 6 different mango flavors, and we'll try all of those to see which one tastes the best. And then we do a number of taste tests. Dave, you've done a few of those.
Every week.
Just about every week. It's kind of funny, but since the pandemic, we have done a taste test almost every single week. So that means in the last 4 years, we have done somewhere close to 200 taste tests on our products. And before that, we would do them every 2 to 3 weeks, maybe once a month. But since we are doing more and more flavored products, and we are bringing some of these things in-house and doing them ourselves, it has necessitated us to do more and more of this testing. And so we have a core group of people. Dave is one of them that comes down faithfully and helps us taste it. They fill out the surveys. What's the sweetness? What's the sourness? Does it taste bitter? The saltiness? Do you like this one better than that one? Rank these three. Do these two taste the same? Do they taste different? We do all sorts of different taste tests, and it's turned out that we do these almost every single week. So lots of stuff done with flavor work, and all to make sure that the flavor you get is hopefully one you're going to enjoy, and probably more importantly, that the tropical flavor you get today is the tropical flavor you'll get next month, and the same that you'll get next year. All that.